Hey everyone, welcome back to the Charlie Hewitt Experience. I am your host, Charlie Hewitt, and today's guest is Bayden Ibrahim. Hi Bayden, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Looking forward to a possibility of a snow day on Monday.
That would be so nice.
Thoughts on that?
I
I
hope
like,
there's a snow day on
yeah,
Monday. I feel like we're gonna get a snow day on
mm-hmm,
Saturday, but like we'll still have school Monday.
yeah. I
That
don't.
would be good.
We just need one.
I know.
We need the
We
senior
do need one.
class needs a snow day.
Very
For all
true.
you listeners out there, we need a snow day. Yeah.
Very
Okay.
accurate.
Um. Anywho, so all right, here we go. So what we have first is
It's a lot
that
of notes you got there.
I do have a lot of notes for you because
There's so
there's
much
just
about
so
me.
much there's
No,
so
there
much
really
about you,
is.
Baden. I honestly couldn't fit it in
Yeah, I
one
don't know
note.
how we're gonna cover it
So
all.
I think something a lot of people know about you is that you are very involved with the yearbook.
I
So
am.
can you kind of talk about what it means to you to be on yearbook?
Well, this is my first year on yearbook,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know if many people know that, and I'm an editor. So like my first year on yearbook being editor, it's pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say it's it's pretty much a grind. You have to talk to a lot of people, know a lot of people, and especially this week, it's the yearbook's due on Monday. So like the last like this week, I've been pulling like going to bed at midnight, doing
Yeah.
I got to complete all my homework, and then I spent like a couple hours in the yearbook. So like it's just like an even though it's not treated like a class because you don't like get a grade, it's pretty
Right.
much like a sixth class. So yeah.
Okay. And so can you spill any tea on the yearbook? Like, is there anything like really cool that's different?
Um, not that I know
No.
of. No, it's pretty. It's not that it's not great. There's
Right.
nothing really exciting that I
Okay.
know of. Yeah.
Because I know with you and Maria Theodore and other people in there, it's gonna be the best of all time,
No,
greatest.
there's no way it won't be.
Um, so there's no tea you can spill. There's none.
No tea? No, I don't think so. The dedication's pretty exciting. I
Okay.
think. Yeah. I can't spill who it is, but it's pretty good.
Oh, fair enough. All
Yeah,
right.
it's pretty good.
Um, so another thing is you kind of already answered this question, but how student oriented is the yearbook? Like, is Miss Blanco like hovering over everything you do, or is it like mainly up to you guys?
I think it's mostly up to the editors. She doesn't really. We go to her for help if we're like stuck, but
Hmm.
like it's mostly what we want, how we want to organize the pages, and then at the end she'll be like, "I hate this," and then
Oh,
change it.
okay.
But it's not that much that she's like, "This page is terrible." It's mostly like the editors have most of the control.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has she ever said that this was terrible?
Yeah, I think towards, I mean, towards the beginning of the year, like
Wow.
especially, she won't say it outwardly except to me because she just doesn't like me. But
Okay.
like I've accepted that, so it's
Fair
fine.
enough. Okay.
But yeah, it's a couple of times she's been like, it's not as good. She'll say it to the editors, but not to the students. But like, yeah,
All right. Well,
yeah.
it's a bummer. And as part of the yearbook, as the senior class, we have senior superlatives.
There is senior relatives.
Senior superlatives.
Yeah,
And I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to release this information, but you were voted as most comedic.
I was.
So I'm pretty happy that I have a comedian on the Charlie Hewitt Experience for
I know.
once. So that's pretty cool.
I know. Thank you. Thank you.
And how do you feel about this? How do you feel about being voted as most comedic? Has your ego inflated? Has it stayed the same? Overall, what's happened?
Um, honestly, I don't think many people know that I'm funny. I think I'm just secretly funny because I'm not as outwardly funny as you are, Charlie, of course. But no, I think my ego is only inflated in yearbook. Like every time I make a joke, Marie's like, "Oh, no wonder you're the most humorous." I'm like, "Yeah, it makes sense."
Hmm.
So, yeah, but
Um,
I'm still pretty humble.
can you tell us a joke?
No,
No.
no. A knock knock joke. Okay, knock knock.
Who's there?
Yeah, this isn't going well.
Okay.
I don't have a good joke. No.
All right. You know what? You know what? I have a knock knock joke for you.
Okay.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Boo hoo.
Boo hoo hoo.
Don't stop. Don't cry. It's only a joke.
Oh, no, that was good. That was good.
Um, kind of on this comedy topic, who's your favorite comedian, if you have one?
My favorite comedian. I don't think I watch that many comedians.
It doesn't even have to be stand up. It can be
Yeah.
like in a movie, or something like that.
I'd say Hassan Minaj is my favorite comedian. He's not
Ooh.
really. He's from The Daily Show.
Oh, with Trevor
He's,
Noah.
yeah.
Okay.
Trevor Noah's up there too.
Oh, I just can't stand that
I
guy.
knew it. Yeah.
But
He has a show, Patriot Act, on Netflix. Everyone should watch it.
Okay.
It's a good show.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Me personally, my favorite comedians are Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr.
Mm.
They both are very like they don't care about what you think or if you're offended. And I think that's just hilarious about them because they say some pretty vile things.
Yeah.
And I find that hilarious. That kind of speaks to my comedy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's my type of humor, but yeah.
What is speaking of comedy movies? What is your favorite comedy movie if you have one?
My favorite comedy movie. I don't know. Can I get back to you on
Yeah,
that?
sure. You can get back.
I don't watch that many movies. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
My favorite comedy movie is by far Step Brothers.
Mm.
Based on the fact that I can just watch it over and over again and still laugh.
Yeah.
I think that's a key component to a good movie. So
That is
yeah.
very true. Yeah.
So something else that you do and that you're very heavily involved in is that you're the vice president of the diversity club at there, Omega. And I was wondering if you could just talk a little bit about it, like what it means to you, what your daily day looks like when you're getting ready for Omega, stuff like that.
So Omega is the first club on campus. Oops, sorry.
That's fine.
I joined the board last year.
Mm-hmm.
2 years before that, I've like been going to the club since my freshman year. In the club, freshman and sophomore year, I didn't really speak that much in the meetings, but I ran just for fun.
Right.
And I just happened to get on the board, which was really good. But to get into each meeting, honestly, we plan meetings every Monday afternoon with the board, but if I'm being honest, it doesn't get planned until Thursday G period with me and Jenna.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I'm just
That's
being honest.
the tea.
That is a T. Thursday G and H is when the meetings get done.
Okay.
But yeah, we usually will come up with a meeting on Monday and then take notes Thursday G, and then we don't really rehearse it, just kind of goes.
Just wing it.
Yeah, the club members mostly like run the meeting for us, like whichever way they want the meeting to go, it'll like end up going. So.
Which I think is kind of a good thing too, because it's kind of like what everybody wants to talk about. So that's pretty cool. And do you think like, do you have a different perspective as a leader than as a person that just went to the meetings now? Like, do you appreciate Omega more after becoming the vice president?
I think so. I think people don't realize how much work it is outside of just like, even though I said like even though we plan the meetings like the period before, I think the club is more than just like the club meetings. Like we do work outside of the club just to like make sure, just like preserve the name. Like having club meetings every week. I don't think you see many clubs that are meeting like every single.
I think Omega is probably the only one that meets every week.
Yeah, we try really hard to keep it consistent so people like don't forget about Omega. So like I think that's you don't notice as a club member.
And something else that you put a lot of hard work into is Diversity Day. So basically, what do you guys do as the board members and as vice president to set up Diversity Day?
This year it was not as much setup as last year because we were trying to get it introduced. So last year, as part of the board, we had to get it passed to through Mr. Thompson and Mr. Cascor. So we had to go meet with the diversity committee and present our ideas. Diversity Day. Mr. Thompson came to some of our board meetings, and then we had to find teachers to run workshops. We pitched names and what workshops they could do. We pitched some ideas, but then also teachers came back to us with what ideas they think would be best for their own workshop. And overall, it took like 4 or 5 months just to get the one day set up. Yeah.
And did you purposely get it towards the beginning of Black History Month in February? Or did it just pan out like that?
No, we wanted it specifically on a Wednesday, but I think it was just like
'cause it's
a random day. Yeah, so.
All right, that's cool. Yeah. And so what did you do on Diversity Day? Like, what were the 2 activities that you did with teachers?
The first workshop I went to was the ESPN one with Mr. Cedrone and Mr. Dwyer, and it was basically about women and gender in sports in general. And we talked about how ESPN portrays women in sports at there, women's sports at there, and like different comparing like girls soccer and boys soccer and the turnout between the two. And we basically just discussed that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And So yeah, what's the other one that you did? You did the ESPN one
I
and
did the Peace Corps one with Miss
Peace
Chiari, which
Corps.
was actually really interesting.
Yeah.
It was mostly talking about his experience being in the Peace Corps, being a
Mm-hmm.
teacher, and like, I think I did want to do the Peace Corps after college, which is what he did. So like, yeah, he worked in Guinea, I think,
Okay.
teaching
That's
math.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, that, that's really good for him because he's making a real difference in people's
No.
lives in Guinea.
Mhm.
So what did you ultimately learn? Because I know you were on the board last year. So uh, what mistakes did you learn from diversity day, for the first diversity day to the second diversity day?
Um, Let me think.
If there was any. I mean, the first diversity day, from my perspective, ran really smoothly. It seemed like a overall success. Um,
Thank you.
and so yeah, and the second diversity day was good too. So I don't even know if there was any failures. I'm just curious if there was anything that you guys specifically did differently than the first diversity day.
I think one thing we changed was the speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Our opening speaker, I think people mostly enjoyed, but the closing speaker, it was the end of a long day,
Yeah.
and she was not as exciting as our first speaker, so
Right.
I think people left on a lower note than we had anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
So we made sure that we had like an activity plan. So like we did the compassion activity, which I think ran actually a lot smoother than we were expecting,
Mm-hmm.
and people left like happier and more like
Yeah.
lively than we did last year.
Yeah. It was definitely fun. Um, so yeah, no, that compassionate activity, I had a real good time doing it. Got up, thanked Pablo, and a lot of other people thanked their teachers, stuff like that. And it was cool.
Yeah, it was really good.
So after you graduate, do you still hope to come back to Thayer and help out with Omega every once in a while, depending on where you go to college, if it's close or far?
Specifically Omega, I think. I mean, I'll maybe stop by club meeting one or two, but I think I'm gonna leave it to the
Yeah.
students here to
Okay.
keep my legacy going.
Right.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Um, so and also this year at the Diversity with the speaker was an autistic non-verbal man who came in and spoke. And first off, how'd you guys find this guy? Like he was a great speaker, um, and he really put forth a really compassionate message for everyone to look forward. And a lot of people got his message and loved him as a whole. So
That's
how'd you
good.
find him?
I think actually Miss Matt, one of Miss Maskin's friends, had seen his documentary before
Okay.
and suggested to her, and then she suggested to us.
And did you meet with him before he came to Thayer?
I
Or
didn't know. I
no?
met him the morning of Diversity Day, but I didn't actually meet him before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when speaking with him one on one, did he did he could you kind of understand him when he was mouthing words
It
or no?
was very short
Oh,
conversation,
okay.
but I got it. It was mostly like a hi, hello. It wasn't
Oh,
much, but
okay.
like yeah, that
That's
was
pretty
kind of
cool.
it. Yeah.
All right, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, on behalf of everybody that's working with Che, we thank you for Diversity Day. It was awesome this year.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Also, we kind of want to bring this into Omega SDLC.
Mhm.
What is SDLC? I know what it is. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
set a groundwork for people listening.
So SDLC is a Student Diversity Leadership Conference that the NAIS, which is the National Association of Independent Schools, runs each year. It's basically a student conference where students from other independent private schools
Hmm.
around the United States go to for, I think, 2 to 3 days, and we discuss basically being students of color or just students, allies of students of color, and the importance of like being in a school, a
Hmm.
primarily white school, things like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And how and what was the total experience like for you? And also, where'd you guys go?
Um, I went junior year too. Junior year we went to Anaheim, which was actually really cool because I'd never been to California.
That's cool.
I didn't have much time to explore California, which is
Oh,
kind of
okay.
sad. But it was really good. In SDLC, there's 3 groups that you go to. One is your affinity group, which is your race. So I went to the Black African American group.
Hmm.
There's your regional group, which is I went to the New England group, and then there's like a random family group. And they're like themes. My junior year, the themes were like princesses. So I went to Elenwe, which is I think is a princess, but they're like
Hmm.
Tiana, Cinderella, Belle, and that's just a random group of like
Okay, that's pretty cool.
20 seniors. I mean, not seniors, just students in general. And there's workshops all day, and you alternate which group you're in, and in each group you talk about like the core identifiers like race, gender, sexual orientation, and we play activities, and then we have a little debrief, and then it's just like a mix of those all day.
All right, cool. And if you could, would you go back again?
I 100% would go back again.
Yeah.
You meet like some of the most like woke people and nicest people
Mm-hmm.
in general, and I think there's also speakers throughout the day. Junior year, I met Ta-Nehisi Coates, which was really cool.
I don't know who that is. Is that?
He's he's an author.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
So also, one other thing that you do on the Thayer campus is that you play softball.
I do.
Can you kind of talk about the role softball's had on your Thayer life kind of through the years? Because I know you've been on varsity since freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of just talk about that, like favorite position, how you got involved, stuff like that.
So I've been playing softball since 4th grade, so this is gonna be like my 10th year playing
Yeah.
softball. My last year, sad. And freshman year, it was a really good experience. My sister was also on teams, it was a clash, but it was really good.
Okay.
But I've like really enjoyed softball in general. Freshman year, there's a new coach, and it had been Miss Siegel for like the last couple of years, but
Mhm.
she wasn't coaching that year. So it was a whole new feel. She was a new coach. I was a new player. So everyone got to know each other really well. It's like a really good group of girls.
Mhm.
I play third base, but freshman year I played mostly first base.
Okay.
But I really switched between the two, and I don't know. I've really enjoyed it.
How many dingers have you hit over the years? Dingers.
Is that referring to home runs or just
Yes.
good hits in general?
Home runs.
I've not gotten a home run yet. No.
Senior year,
This will be my year.
you're gonna get at least
Yeah.
50.
I think so.
At least 50. I don't know if you have one, but do you have a favorite softball player? And if you don't, like a favorite baseball player?
I don't have a favorite softball player, but I used to watch a lot of baseball when I was growing up. So I think my favorite baseball player would probably be,
Big Poppy.
I'd say Justin Pedroia.
Oh my gosh. How can it not be David Ortiz? I'm a fan of
I
Justin
was
Pedroia
gonna-
too, but like Big Poppy?
I do love Big Poppy.
I love him too.
He's close.
He's close.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
All right.
close.
At least he's close. Then.
Yeah, he's close.
At least he's close. All right. So something that we also do is that on the Charlie Hewit Experience that we've been doing for a while is that we do Q&A segments now.
Yeah, my questions have been answered. Thank you so much. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it.
I also forgot to answer one of your questions, but basically, some person asked, "Hey, hold on, let me get to it. Who's the new director of diversity for Che?"
Someone asked that.
Someone asked that, and it is Bayden Ibrahim, director of diversity. Yeah,
Wow,
clap it up.
thank you so much. It's
Standing
really an
ovation.
honor. Thank you so much.
You can't see all the people standing up right now, but there is a standing ovation outside
There's
of the
actually
library.
a lot of people.
There's at least 200.
Thank you. I'm waving at them right now.
Okay.
You can't see, but I am.
Yo, guys, quiet it down. We're doing a podcast.
Yeah,
All right, cool. There's just too many. All right, so now we go to some of the other questions. This is by a meme page. I can't say it out loud just because it's not bad. It's just like I don't know how to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you believe it would ever be possible for every nation on Earth to unite under one flag? Let's have a discussion.
Under one flag.
Under one flag, one people.
So would that mean like one person is running the entire country?
I just think it means that it's one country, so I don't think it necessarily means one person. It could be a democracy, could be a tyranny, a tyranny. I don't know. I think, me personally, I like to see the good in people. I would say yes,
Okay.
because there's a Twilight Zone episode where aliens come to Earth and they say, if you guys don't become if you guys don't become peaceful, we're gonna annihilate the human race. And so the United States works with North Korea, Russia, in the 1950s to come together, and they do it. And the aliens come back down to Earth, and they say, in our culture, peace means all-out war. And so they annihilate the humans anyway, because even though they were united under one flag,
Yeah.
that wasn't their definition of peace.
Oh, what a plot twist.
So Me personally, yes, just because I feel like if there are certain circumstances where we have to come
Yeah.
together, then I think we will. Like, say for example, we like the global warming gets to a point where literally like children are dying,
Mm-hmm.
then I feel like countries will have to come together to stop that,
Yeah, I
to
see
stop
that.
like to work towards the goal of ultimately not using carbon emissions. But um,
Yeah, I feel like if there's a tyranny and like there's one crazy dictator like watching over everyone, I think we could unite in one country.
oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. Um, this is a question from Hui. When is Teresa J coming on the Charlie Hewitt Experience? Um, I'm gonna say never, but if we get enough people to want her on the show, you never
I
know.
want her in a show.
Mrs. Teresa J,
Yes.
the technology director of their academy.
Zach wants her on the show too.
Zach wants her on the show.
Next guest?
I can't give out the next guest,
Ooh.
but the initials are TJ. I'm
Ooh.
just kidding. It's
I'm
not Teresa
kidding.
J. So help me God. Um, also, a question by somebody by the name of Bayden.ib on Instagram.
Follow, sorry.
Black and blue or white and gold? I think you're referring to the dress
I
that came out a
am
couple
referring
years
to the
ago.
dress. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Let me look up a photo, but why don't you talk about what you think it is?
I think it's 100% black and blue. I do not understand how people see white and gold. I think there's actually two dresses, one made in black and blue and one made in white and gold. I think if you like hold it at a certain angle, you can see that
Wait a
it's like,
second. Are you talking about this one?
yeah,
So you're telling me you see black and blue.
yes.
You're telling me you see black and blue in this photo.
Are you kidding?
I see white and gold.
Are you
I can
kidding?
see a hint of blue. I can see a hint of blue.
Yeah, see?
Okay, on the right it's black and blue, but
Yeah,
on the left
that's the
it's white and
same-
gold.
White? Is it black and gold?
No, this one. Come on, that's black and blue.
Yeah, I said black and blue.
Yes, okay,
yeah.
so that's black and blue, but on the left it's white and gold. And
It's
the one
just
that I'm
that-
showing you is white and gold.
That's the same exact. That's literally the
Are
same
you
exact
kidding me?
photo.
Are you Are you kidding?
No, okay. The photo on the left, the brightness is just turned up really high, so it's still black and blue, but it's just really sunny, or like the lights are messed up.
It is all right. All right. Well, okay. Let's agree to disagree. But so help me God, this is white and gold. I can see a hint of blue in it. For right now, I see white
See,
and
you
gold.
see a hint of. I see no hint of white.
No
or
white?
Literally none.
And you all right? So you're telling
Wait,
me
show me it again?
you're telling me you don't see any gold in there.
I see a tinted black.
A
that could
tinted
be-
black?
That could be described
are
as
you
gold, but like I don't see
How?
white at all.
How are you? Okay. Next question. By Justin O'Leary, you want a stew? I don't know what stew means. I've seen many instructional cooking videos. I think he might be referring to stewing of.
I thought I was referring to Stu, the lacrosse coach, but
Oh, Kevin Stewart.
oh, wait, maybe him too.
Kevin Stewart. Oh, Coach Stew.
Yeah, he left though.
Oh, that's right. He did leave.
Yeah.
I
I don't think that's what it's referring to though.
I think it's referring to cooking. Cooking videos, stirring.
I do like a good stew.
Me too. You know, sometimes some dumplings. Really good Jewish
Beef
food.
stew?
It's good. Also from Justin O'Leary, you steezin'. I am steezing, Justin O'Leary. Styling with ease. That's what it means. Style with ease. Steeze.
I mean, it's hard to look this good, so I'm not really styling with ease, but I'm styling.
All right. Fair. Fair, Bayden. All right. Cool. All right. Bayden has a lot of confidence. Has Zach been fired yet so I can take his job? This
Who
is
is
by
this?
this is by Jenna Hirsch. Wow. Well, Zach is my executive producer and social media coordinator, so he would have to do something pretty bad, like post a pretty bad photo on the Instagram for me to fire
Little
him.
scandal.
A little scandalish.
Jenna, you should leak a scandal if you're listening to this.
If you're listening to this, you know what? I'd be surprised if Jenna listens to this.
She told me she listened to the last episode.
She did. Also from Jenna Hirsch, she said, "Do you need some help dealing with your alcohol addiction?"
I heard about this addiction.
This addiction. Well,
and
you
I'm
know,
sorry, and I'm so sorry.
I don't have. All right, it's not bad. No, I'm just kidding. For all the people out there, I do not have an alcohol addiction.
You know, your YouTube comments would say otherwise, but
My YouTube comments would say otherwise, but you know what? I work hard to make sure that I do not get caught in the trap of alcohol addiction. Also from Jenna Hirsch. Wow, another one. They just
thank you
keep
so much
coming
for
in.
these questions, Jenna.
Wow, thank you,
How
Jenna.
nice.
10 out of 10. Why are you like this? That is the. Why am I like this? Well, when I was 2 years old, my mother decided it was a good idea to put me on top of 10 pillows that were stacked up on a bed. And I got to the top. She plopped me on the top, and I fell. I hit my head. So there you go. That's why
There
I'm
came
like this.
Charlie Hewitt.
That's why my IQ is high and my social skills are a -5. That's why right there.
Yeah.
Bayden, all right, we're gonna come back to the podcast now.
Okay.
So
I really enjoyed the Q&A. It was really good.
it was a good Q&A.
Yeah.
Quality questions. So now we're gonna go to the game today.
Keep sending in questions.
Keep sending in questions. Sorry. Keep sending in questions.
I think I'm coming for your job, Charlie.
I know, you really are coming for... You know what? You might as well call this the Bayden Ibrahim? All right, can we clear this up on the podcast? Ibrahim or Ibrahim?
So, if you're saying it the Somali way, because I'm Somali, it's Ibrahim. If you're
Ibrahim.
saying it like the Arab way, it's Ibrahim. I prefer Ibrahim.
Okay, we will call you Ibrahim.
I've given
then.
up, so you can say whichever way.
No, we're not going to give up on you. Charlie Hewit, you've heard it here first. It is Bayden Ibrahim.
Like bracket. That's what Ibrahim. Bracket?
Ibrahim.
Yeah. Good.
Ibrahim.
Yeah, nice.
Bayden Ibrahim.
Yeah.
So, it is no longer Bayden Ibrahim. I mean, it still is, but it's Bayden Ibrahim now.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So, what I was gonna get to is we play a lot of fun and games. Sponsored by Fun and Games and Conspiracies too. This Fun and Games. So last month was Black History Month. It's going to be March 2nd when everyone's listening to this, but we're going to reflect on Black History Month.
Okay.
Because if you guys don't know Bayden is black.
A very true statement.
So we're going to do some Black History Month trivia.
Okay.
So it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be too hard.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna throw you some, you know, moon balls, but there might be a couple curveballs in here.
Okay. Hope I don't bring Omega to shame.
I know it was because we also made a deal with Jenna Hirsch, who also asked all the questions, that if you get 50% of these wrong, she takes your spot as vice president.
Okay.
So that's
Sounds
the deal.
Good to me.
Question number 1: Who is the only black Supreme Court justice in the Supreme Court today?
Clarence Thomas.
That's right. It is
Thank you
Clarence
so much.
Thomas. Clarence Thomas. Question number 2: Who was the youngest person at the time to receive a Nobel Peace Prize in 1964? That's a very important date.
1964.
I could give you a hint.
Can I get a hint?
He's from Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh, is it Martin Luther King Jr.?
It is Martin Luther King Jr.
I did not know he had a Nobel Peace Prize.
He did. It was in the movie Selma, actually, was portrayed in that, if you've ever seen it.
I haven't seen it. I should watch it.
It's a good movie. Question number 3. Who created Black History Week, which led to Black History Month?
Is it a president?
No.
Okay.
Every president, fun fact actually, every president since Black History Month was institutionalized in, I believe it was the 70s or 60s, I forget when, but every president since then has to redesignate it, and every president since then has.
Okay.
But so basically, the person that created Black History Week was Carter G. Woodson. Not entirely sure who he was, but that's who he. Yeah, I think he was an author or something.
It was on the tip of my tongue. Just couldn't think of it.
Sure. Who is the current U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development in Trump's cabinet?
He's black.
He is black.
Is it Ben Carson?
It is Ben Carson.
It
is Ben Carson.
That is the only black.
I know, he's the only black person in Trump's cabinet. So, this one's going to be a hard one, but I feel like you can get it.
Okay.
Which black artist said this quote? "You gots to work with what you gots to work with." This person is disabled. Physically.
Like artists like singing or artists like painting?
Singing.
What's the line again?
You gots to work with what you gots to work with.
Disabled? Um,
They can walk. That's a hint that I can give you. They can walk.
this is Stevie Wonder.
It is Stevie Wonder. Congratulations, Bayden. 5 out of
Thank you
6.
so. That's pretty good.
That is good. That is a passing grade.
That is passing grade.
So, what is at the? All right, we're gonna go past the game right now. What is your favorite class and teacher, and why
This year?
this year? Or you know what? Let's do this year, and then we're gonna do the your high school career.
Okay. I think my favorite class is AP Calc this year.
Really,
Yeah,
it's a
it
bold
is.
statement. Bold statement.
It's like a really good group of kids.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Usually it depends on who the teacher is, who you're with in the class. So
Yeah,
that's
Mr.
good.
Cedrone, he's so funny.
Yeah.
And he's a really good teacher.
That's
Like
good.
he really gets you to know the material. And he
Awesome.
also really cares. I feel like most teachers don't care,
Mhm.
but he really cares.
That's good.
Yeah.
And okay, so that's your favorite class, and is he your favorite teacher this year too?
Favorite teacher. He's probably my favorite teacher this year too.
Cool.
Yeah.
So in your high school entirety, your favorite class and your favorite teacher, and why?
Let me think. I think my favorite teacher has to be Mr. Diamond, Profe.
Mhm.
Pretty iconic class.
Mhm.
He's just really. He's a character. I don't even know how to describe him.
He's really fun. I actually played basketball with him one time, and he was about, I want to say he was like 65 maybe at the time. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go easy on him because, he's a pretty old guy. And he was taking some shots, and he was getting right back up.
That's
He-
Mr. Diamond for
yeah,
you.
he is he's a fun guy who just likes to keep moving. Me personally, I think my favorite teacher of all time was probably Mr. Forrest, just because we're both like really weird and we have that weird sense of humor. And we also play video games a lot.
Yeah.
Favorite class was probably I don't know, actually. That's a hard one, I guess.
I think my favorite class, I hated it at the time, but I learned to appreciate it after, was probably AP Computer Science. I
Oh.
really struggled in that class.
Okay.
But towards the end, it got a lot better, and I really liked it.
And so I'm glad you kind of brought up programming, because that's our next topic.
Oh, is it?
So, will you do it in college? Because you kind of just said that you, well, you didn't get to it. I just know this about you, but did you
Yeah.
drop programming this year?
I did, yeah.
And will you do it in college?
I think so. My ideal major is computational biology, so like computer
pretty cool.
science and bio.
That's
So
really
yeah.
cool. And what do you think the end goal is going to be for you? Like what do you want to do with your life? That's kind of like a philosophical, like hard question to answer. But if you have like an idea, do you have one?
For like a job.
Yeah, for like a job, it can be anything.
Well, I really like computer science, so like I think maybe like a data technician.
That'd
I
be
don't
pretty
know.
cool.
Like I'd like to work in like science, but like doing computer science with
Right.
science.
Okay.
It's like a mix of it too. I don't know an ideal job that does
Yeah.
that, but like
That'd be a cool job.
yeah.
And so something else that this is going to be like our final topic that we're going to talk about, but this year you were the varsity basketball manager.
I was.
And how was that experience for you? Because it was your first time doing this. So,
I originally was not going to do it,
really.
but my friend Janelle wrote me into it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was actually like such a fun time. I used to play basketball in middle school. I'm a pretty great
All-star
basketball star.
Well, we were on Hoops for Haiti
speaking
the
of-
other day.
Yes, I was at Hoops for Haiti.
So you were my Hoops for Haiti team. By far, I think you had maybe 30 points in the whole
I
tournament.
think so. 31?
31, sorry.
Yeah.
You led the team. Zach and I had a combined 5.
Yeah.
That's just how it
it's
went.
tough.
That's just how it went. well, sorry. Me, Zach, and Gow had a combined 6. Sorry,
Pablo
Gow.
was up there too.
Pablo had 5.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty tough loss yesterday.
oh, it was tough, but
it was
you know
hard
what?
getting over it.
The freshmen were good. As Zach is flipping me off with both of his middle fingers. Anywho,
Yeah.
so basketball. What was your favorite experience on the being a basketball manager?
Um,
Like favorite moment, like in a game, in a season, on the bus rides.
I think my favorite moment is when the refs are really bad, and after like Brandon stops caring, and he's just like yelling at the refs. He's like laughing at the plays. It's just like it's really funny.
Yeah, because yeah, there are
The
just
refs
some
are
refs that are just horrific.
terrible.
Horrific.
Yeah,
Let me repeat that again. Horrific. Some of these refs are horrific. ISL, pull it together.
they're listening. You know.
They are listening. Listen to this, ISL. Your refs suck. Your basketball refs are terrible. All right, Bayden. Thanks for coming on the show. The Charlie Hewit
Thanks so much
Experience.
for having me.
Yeah, it was awesome talking more with you. I already knew you really well, but it's great to have it out on the actual podcast. So
Thank
thanks
you so
again.
much. Thanks.
And thank you to all the listeners listening to this podcast. It's been a blast, and I hope you have a good weekend.
Happy snow
And
day.
happy snow day.
Snow day.
Snow day. Possibly heard it here first, but
You
possibility
did.
of a snow day on Monday. And you know what? If you
I
like,
wouldn't be mad.
I wouldn't be mad either. All right, but bye, guys. If you like the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and always make sure to comment.